Predators broadcast is brought to you by Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. By Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt. By Fifth Third Bank, official bank of the Nashville Predators and Bridgestone Arena. Member FDIC. And by your Middle Tennessee Toyota dealers.
Pete Weber and Terry Crisp joining you here from PNC as the Predators go against the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's go to our injury report, brought to you by Vanderbilt Sports Medicine. And here are the scratches for tonight. Pecorine, Rich Clune, and Victor Bartley for the Predators. Carolina lengthy injured reserve list. Gary Talusti, Yoni Pitkanen, goaltender Cam Ward, and Riley Nash, Mike Komisarek, Eric Stahl, and Jay Harrison. So ready to get the puck dropped here. Don Van Massenhoven will drop it. Mike Lego joins him with an orange armband. Derek Amell, Brian Pancic will have play along the lines. David Legwand opens up against Manny Malhotra in the opening faceoff, and it comes back to Shea Weber. Tipped by Craig Smith, and trying to flipper it down then was David Legwand, but put around the boards and taken back up Drayson Bowman into the Nashville zone. The backhand try and tip just wide of Carter Hutton. Trying to deflect that one out was Smith, but right on top of him there is Radek Dvorak. Behind the net, Predators making a defense change, turning it back on the backhand, and that try by Bowman is deflected away from in front. So the Predators, with Klein and Ellis out on D, get the puck out across the line. Legwand going off for a line change for Nashville. Circling back in, coming up the right wing side, Colin Wilson. Slides it low in the Carolina end. Up on the wall and tipped back from behind the net, put back up on the right wing side and tipped out wide of Nathan Gerby. Sent back in by Nashville's Seth Jones. Mike Fisher with the puck, lost it there and dumped down the Nashville end by Patrick Dwyer. Picked up. This is Jordan Stahl and trying to come to the net. Hutton down, made the stop with the left pad and then covered up.
And right to the attack, Pete, and they said this team was fast. Carolina, they got wheels. They'll use them right off the bat. If you turn that puck over, they're going to come down on you. And coming down off that right wing, making a nice little turnaround with Jordan Stahl. And coming in late, trying to make it happen.
John Michael Lyles on D now, along with the youngster, Ryan Murphy. Puck comes out now to Lyles, and that's tipped right on a blocking pad save he's made. Picked up by Tuomo Ruutu. Skinner goes behind the net. And the puck nudged out. And now a break here for Roman Josi. Ruutu came over on him. Picked up by Nystrom. His shot stopped Hudobin. Put back up on the wall by Murphy. And it's chipped up on the boards and taken out by Skinner. Skinner coming across the line. Predators keeping the stick down on his. And it's sent back to the Carolina zone. Falk drops it back for Lyles, who was picked up from the Toronto Maple Leafs earlier in the week. Hammering that puck on the wall and taking it out now. Here's Gabriel Bourque. Bourque delaying on the right board. Trying the shot was Matt Hendricks. And it's thrown over onto the right wing. Broken up at center off the skate. Andrei Sekera couldn't hold on to it. Now he has it back from Falk. Banging that in around the boards, and it sounded like off the glass support, did it not? Here is Ellis. Up to the left wing, tipped in deep by Hendricks. Predators go for a change. David Legwand's line comes back out. Manny Malhotra, as they open the game, counters him. And Falk slips a man coming out to center. Drayson Bowman tapped it. Tipped in by Craig Smith from just across center red. Hudobin doesn't know which way to go there with it, as Legwand had smothered his attempted pass. Dvorak puts it back to the left board. And now it's floated out wide of Dvorak. In the race, there'll be no icing. Coming back in the corner, Matthias Ekholm. Tapped there by Bowman. Ekholm comes away with the puck. Tried to flip it out, knocked right down. And we're going to be a hand pass here to stop the play as Bowman went breaking in from atop the circle.
You're talking about breaking in. That was a break, Pete. Matthias Ekholm again. Another giveaway, Pete, in deep. And after Coach Trotz says he doesn't want anymore. We talked to him today for a while, and he said the one thing he really wants to bear down on is the mental mistakes, the simple mistakes, the ones where we're handing over opportunities to the opposition. It's one of the phrases he says, we have to make the opposition earn their goals. We can't keep giving them soft goals. And he says, and that means every aspect of our game, goaltending, defense, and forwards, all involved in it. Make the opposition earn good goals, not keep giving them to them.
Derby got the puck away from Mike Fisher. Comes down low, overskated there by Dwyer, trying to flip it out is Hornqvist. His third try finally results in some success there. Here's Ron Hainsey. Down the middle, and then that shot tipped up, I believe, off the stick of Shea Weber as it was taken by Dwyer. Here's Victor Stallberg for Nashville.
This has been a game, Peter, just between up and down between the blue lines. Only one good scoring chance. Here we go.
Stallberg breaks in, and a pad save is made off the right leg there by Hudobin. So Stallberg had the chance. Tipped just inside the line and played out for Ruutu. Cross ice, Skinner. Skinner coming in, strong on the puck, hit the backside of the net. Shoving out in front of the score! Hurricanes shoveled out in front. Alexander Semin. And the Canes are out in front, 1-0 after 4:28.
And this is the thing that Coach Lambert talked about this morning at coffee, was the fact that, hey, we cannot give up an early lead like this. And suddenly, as you meant, Semin right coming down. And number 53, Pete, he just sort of hangs on to it. Jeff Skinner, and just it's one of those plays where go behind, throw it towards the net, and bingo, and it goes.
So Semin, the beneficiary of that, he comes up with the score, his 6th of the year. He has missed part of the season due to being on the injured reserve list. And yeah, it was Jeff Skinner strong in the puck, bringing it in. And here's a shot taken by Semin that missed the net as he came in on the left wing side.
Wow.
Shea Weber now across the line, firing. Big rebound given up by Hudobin. Falk tried to clear, comes back down in front and cleared out for Ruutu. Across on the right wing, coming on Semin. Semin is stood up momentarily by Josi. On the boards on the right wing side. Backhander to the side of the net. That taken by Brent Sutter. And the Predators throw it down into the zone. So Semin from Skinner and Ruutu. The scoring on that play with a 1-0 Hurricane lead. Hudobin scrambling a bit out of his net as the puck is reversed by Aaron Palushai, just called up from Charlotte in the American League. Coming out from behind the net. It's on the stick of David Legwand, turns back to the inside. Legwand with Sekera on him, goes to the corner, reverses as Ellis comes down to the right wing corner, and the puck is swept down ice now into the Nashville end. Backhanded over, Ryan Ellis turns back up as the change being affected now by the Hurricanes. Just about 6 minutes gone in the period. Hainsey guns it back in right into the mush of Kevin Klein. Up the boards with it. Cleared out by Craig Smith. Tracking it down now, Colin Wilson. He delays on the left board. Wilson turns. Mike Fisher takes the carom behind the net. Throws it across in front. Turning his Hornqvist. And as he spun around in front like a tabletop hockey player, just misses the net. Ekholm, left side the shot. Big rebound comes back to Seth Jones. Jones a follow-up, deflects to the corner. Colin Wilson after it. Canes tap it over. A feed by Hornqvist, deflects over as Mike Fisher was in position. He had to almost bunt the puck out of the air. Predators tag up, get back onside, and dump it back in the Hurricane zone. Looking for the pass, and coming up now across the center red line to Jordan Staal. He comes down the left wing. Slowed down by Seth Jones. Jones steps in front of Staal. Puck is taken by Paul Gaustad. Off the board, and it sneaks through to center ice. Tipped up away from Victor Stallberg. And Seth Jones has it inside the Nashville blue line. Ekholm comes up. Predators. And trailing here 1-0 as that puck goes out of play over the penalty box. 7:14 gone in the period. And it was at 4:28 when Alex Semin gave the Hurricanes a 1-0 advantage.
It's time for Watch and Win, presented by Hunt Brothers Pizza. Tonight, you have the opportunity to win an alumni package featuring tickets to the January 20th Dallas game, a meet and greet with alumni Bob Bugner, Blake Geoffrion, and Mark Mowers, plus a swag bag that includes a Preds jersey. You have until the end of the second period to enter, so visit NashvillePredators.com/watch and win or call 615-770-7800.
Hurricanes break out for Nathan Gerby. His pass in front of Jordan Staal. Stopped by the Predators bench. Actually goes inside, so we'll have a stoppage at 7:29 as we take a look at the coach of the Hurricanes, who started out a few years ago as the coach of the Milwaukee Admirals.
Head coach Kurt Muller, Pete, as you mentioned, he was with us for a while in his third season with Carolina, 19 seasons in the NHL. As a player, played almost 1,350 games in there. New Jersey, Montreal, New York, Toronto, Florida, and Dallas. Yeah, by the way, he scored the Stanley Cup clinching goal for Montreal in 1993.
Now the Predators have a break here, Terry. Coming in left wing side. The shot by Wilson, I believe, hit Hudobin up high around the mask. Then a follow back now for Fisher. Drilled it across in front of the net and picked up and taken back out. Thrown down the side by Radek Dvorak. Up the right wing. So the Predators had a break-in, a 3-on-2. And Wilson's shot was high on Hudobin. Hornqvist stops. Fisher, backhand feed in front. Hornqvist trying to get a hold of it. Comes back out of the corner for Wilson. Wilson sends it low. Fisher in the trapezoid. As Bowman came back after him. Fisher turned with a backhand, and the puck comes back across the line. Kevin Klein stops it. And the Predators get back on side and will go off for a change. They have outshot the Hurricanes 5-3, but the Hurricanes have the most important official stat advantage. They have the 1-0 lead here. Puck stopped by Bellemare and slid away from Ruutu. Picked up, Semin comes on, and that shot is gloved there by Carter Hutton in net for the Predators tonight.
So, Pete, again, we talk about scoring chances, but not finish. And Coach Trotz says, we're tired of talking about scoring chances. Here comes Colin Wilson down the left side. He's got a perfect chance. All he's got to do is keep his feet moving, build the wall, cut to the front of the net, make it happen. He stays on the left-hand side, and Hudobin just stays with him, knowing that he's not going to come in. He stayed wide. This is where you got to build the wall, throw the leg out, drive. Even if it doesn't go in, it'll create a traffic jam, a rebound, whatever.
Semin threw it high, and difficult dealing with that for Tuomo Ruutu. Legwand has it for Nashville. Goes up the right boards and is forced to give it back for Shea Weber. The Predators have to reverse the flow. Boy, Jeff Skinner is all over on the forecheck. The pass eluding Craig Smith, and this will be an icing against Nashville with 9:13 gone in the first period.
So Jeff Skinner, Pete, started the shot, threw it in this season. 19 goals, 13 assists, 32 points. This guy is on a roll, for crying out loud. 15 goals this guy has in his last 16 games. Mind you, that includes that hat trick against us a month ago.
And a hat trick against Montreal.
That'll add up in 30. There's 6 for you in 2 nights.
Bellemare, the defenseman, backhands it low. Weber ahead of Yossi. Given back into the corner. Belushai just called up again today from Charlotte. A little scramble behind the net. He's known for his pugnacity. Down the right wing side, Craig Smith. His shot held against the chest by Anton Hudobin. So he holds on. 9:34 off the clock here in the first.
So Captain Shea Weber doing a little jousting down there, Pete, with Zach Boychuk. Back and forth. He's still jawing somebody out on the ice. I don't know if the referee or who it is. But he's a little perturbed at the far end. And you know when Captain Weber gets perturbed?
Yes.
It means somebody's going to get hit somewhere.
Down the right board. James trying to make the play. It comes back out for Klein. Quick shot. Forcing a similarly quick reaction by Hudobin.
Nice quick release by Kevin Klein. Matt Cullen driving to the net off that one, realizing that with Kevin Klein having the puck, something might drop down, but nope. Hudobin just simply catches it freezes it, takes the face off.
Is pulled back by Cullen. Getting tripped up there, trying to go down that right wing side. And now Hendricks puts it out in front. And it is pulled back away from Cullen. And taken back up the left wing side. Backhanded into the zone, broken up for just a moment, and now sent back out by Matt Cullen. On the boards it goes. Hendricks is ready to put on the really big hit. Motoring in now is Nate Gerby. Gerby would refer to as a scat back in football.
A scat back. That means quick, fast,
and quite small.
Deaky. Finds the holes.
Yep.
Jumps through them. Hard to get a hold of.
Former Boston College player.
Okay.
Turning back on that left side, Gerby. Almost slinking up the boards. Cross ice, lining up the shot. Murphy elects not to take it, as it's put down the boards then by Lyles, who wasn't getting much playing time with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Skated up to center by Mike Fisher. Fisher turns the puck over in the process as Dvorak's shot stopped, and then trying to get to the rebound was Bowman. Taken up ice by Bourque. And offside Nashville as Hornqvist tried to handle that all in one motion. 11:09 off the clock in the first period. The Hurricanes a 1-0 lead on the Predators.
Frustration to me is a bad emotion. There's nothing good that can come from frustration, and what you have to do is just recognize it, that you can't be frustrated. You have to make sure that you've got focus and turn that frustration into focus, and if you do that, then that'll be the good energy. And when you're focused, that energy usually translates into a group of 20, and when the group of 20 is focused, they usually can get good things done.
There you have it from the coach. Hey, frustration, keep it out. Get focused, in effect on it. Positive, good energy. Group of 20 can make things happen if they focus in the right direction.
As Jeff Skinner focuses on dumping that puck diagonally into the right wing corner. Puck is swept out for Ruutu. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Thrown back around by Sekera. And Josi tried to get the leverage there on Skinner. Ruutu out of that right corner. Skinner in the trapezoid. Josi picks up the puck. Chipped out of there by Hornqvist, but stopped directly at center ice. Sekera's pass for Ruutu. Ruutu lines up, dumps in. Canes go off for a line change. 12 minutes off the clock in the first. Tipped ahead by Hornqvist. Got a step on his man. Hornqvist then backhands it for Gaustad. Gaustad tried to step around the youngster Murphy, who gained control of the puck. And here come the Hurricanes. From outside the blue line, the shot initially fumbled and then covered up as the shot was taken from just outside the line.
Hey, the Design My Mask contest presented by AT&T is back. Use your artistic skill and design a mask that Peck Arena will wear during a game. The winning designer will receive 2 tickets to a game and meet Pekka post-game, where he will give the game-worn mask to the winner. To get started, visit NashvillePredators.com/mask to print out a mask template and get designing.
Puck pulled away down the right wing side by Stahlberg. He got the shot. The rebound swatted back to the corner by the goaltender Hudobin. Behind the net. And now going to the left wing board, Eric Nystrom. Shoveled back by Gaustad. Reading that, Kevin Klein comes down to the hash mark and kicks it down to the corner. Scrambling after the puck. Gaustad with the shot. Hudobin didn't see it coming through. He was in the right place to block it as he was hugging his left post. Feed is tipped out behind Stahlberg, and the Predators' D-men go back after it. And just before Palushai would get in on him. Deflected in by Nystrom. Hudobin sweeps over for Belmore. Pass up on the right wing side, and back come the Canes on the attack. From down the right wing, and now Hainsey's shot blocked. Puck was free for a moment in front. David Legwand takes it for Nashville, and his pass comes right on, and that shot is stopped there by Hudobin, and the rebound taken away. So Spaulding had a good try. Ekholm got it back at the point. tight quarters. Craig Smith overskates it. Spaulding comes over to help out. Left the puck in the corner. Put back up on the right board. And out come the Hurricanes. Turn back for Craig Smith. Smith, right side, Seth Jones coming on. That shot hopped up on Hudobin a little bit. Hainsey tried to drill around the wall. A follow-up shot deflects. Taken down on the right wing board. And running into a real traffic jam there was Gabriel Bourque. Fed back into the Nashville zone. Under 6 minutes to go in the first period. Hurricanes up 1-0 on the Alexander Semin goal. Hendricks tipped the puck. It comes back for Carolina. As the pass deflected away from Matt Cullen. Fed out now for Hendricks. Hendricks breaking in. That shot off the blocker and stick side and up into the netting. 14:23 has been played in the first. The Hurricanes continue to lead the Predators 1-0.
Legwand springs Spaulding loose, but the key to this is the shot. Spaulding takes a shot net. Hudobin is giving rebounds. Watch this one. Legwand, there goes Spaulding in on it. Now watch the shot. Now watch the rebound. There's the big rebound. They're coming to get it. Watch the wall they set up. Nobody gets near it. There's these four guys right here. He's pinned in. Yes, the shot on net is great. The rebounds will be there. Go and get them, guys. Arrive. He's given up a few rebounds.
Fisher facing off against Malhotra. Hurricanes get it, break out, and Malhotra comes up, shoots one, and Hutton juggling just a moment as he pulled the glove hand up near the chest.
So Coach Trotz expounding upon the fact that, you know what, you can't get frustrated. You're just working away like they've come back from games from behind. You get it, he said, and even then, you tie it up. You're working hard. You're getting your chances, and then you lose it on a goal or whatever. He says, well, you can't get down. He says, I like what he said about, positive, good energy. 20 guys agree to it. Dig in.
And now spinning was Skinner right in front. Got it back again. And Hutton had to make the stop there.
I'm thinking, Pete, you've got to be allowed to knock a guy, don't you, like legally in front of the net?
Yes.
I think it is still a rule in the game you can do that.
Yeah, as long as he has the puck.
Yeah.
Just outside the line. Hornqvist sends it back in. Hudobin sweeps it over for his D-man. And out to center ice they come. Semin delays on the right side. Coming on late, Hainsey has to take it off the board. And low it goes, and now the Hurricanes with the change. Predators, they're changing as well, so Shea Weber holds up before everyone gets out there up front.
Both clubs having played last night, traveled last night, Pete, they'll be, coach will be saying, okay, boys, short, hard shifts, in and out, don't get caught out there tired, and don't make bad, dumb changes. Lazy changes.
Wraparound try there from Stahlberg. Comes back for Ellis. Neither side had a skate here this morning. A little shorter trip for the Hurricanes coming back from Long Island than the Predators did coming up from South Florida. To the corner. Belmore all over Nystrom. Here's Gostad pursuing it for Nashville. Bounced away from Nystrom of the trapezoid. Turning back around, Nystrom goes after the body, and the puck comes up the center ice. Flipped into the Nashville zone from outside. Legwand. And given back for Kevin Klein. Jordan Staal in front of the Nashville net. Here the players exchanging some information down there from our ice level microphones. Puck dropped back, and the shot by Smith misses. Backhand try on the rebound by Legwand, and Hudobin goes face first into his own cage to keep it out of there.
So David Legwand trying to tie this game up at one apiece. And Hudobin makes the run for that one.
So Legwand comes over, a backhand swipe at it. It goes actually underneath Hudobin, who has to turn on the face-first brakes to make the stop completed. There's a shot by Seth Jones and caught by Hudobin, with the Predators trying to crash the net. Carter Hutton going for a little skate down the other end of the ice. Let's take a look at the overhead on all that. Picked up from behind the net. Falk knocking it down at center, but it comes back to the Nashville zone. From center ice. Taken away and slipped over to the right wing side for Radek Dvorak. Legwand, the man in deep on the forecheck. 3 minutes remain in the first period. Predators kept it bottled up for the moment. Now out on the left wing side. Now Holtra flings it in. Bowman was there on top of Fisher. Now Malhotra behind the net. Taken by Fisher thanks to Matthias Ekholm's pass. And flipped through center by Craig Smith as the Predators goal for a change. 1-0 Carolina. Semin with the score. Jordan Staal coming in left side. His shot sticked away by Hutton. Came on the back of the cage for a moment. Staal to the blue line over toward Hainsey, but taken up as respecting the speed there of Colin Wilson. Hainsey was backing up to Dobin. And a little misadventure in the trapezoid, but the Predators couldn't get it out in front quickly enough. Comes over now for Hainsey. On the right wing side. And now Gerby down the left wing. His shot wide of the Nashville net. Dwyer tried a shot that was blocked. Comes now in front. Off the skate of Colin Wilson. Dropped it back. Revers pass for Josi. Off the stick it goes of Hornqvist. And almost picking up cleanly Skinner. He turns and got a shot away that was blocked.
You're right. You said earlier, Skinner's everywhere.
Yes.
First he's in the corner, then he's in the slot, then he's forechecking, then he's back checking. Well, this guy can drive the Zamboni.
Sometimes you expect that he was cloned. You were talking about cloning the other night.
No kidding. Man.
Puck dumped in by Nashville. 80 seconds remains in the first.
I'll tell you one thing, if you're just an avid hockey fan, he's a treat to watch.
Yes, he's that.
Now, if you're a coach in the other team or a player in the other team, not so nice. Drafted
3 years ago and made this team as an 18-year-old. Injuries plaguing him last year in particular. Up the middle from Ekholm, tipped down to the corner. Stallberg after it. His backhander hits the side of the net. Tried to feed it in front and hammered out of the blue ice. Then a shot by Ekholm took off, and I think that was going for the lunar surface. Bowman sends it back down the left wing. Turned back around before Dvorak could get it. Losing a hat down there in the play. And we have some going back and forth with Hornqvist and a Hurricanes player who lost his hat. And now the puck is held onto by Hutton with 35.5 seconds to go.
Hey, the Predators are back at Bridgestone Arena this Tuesday, January the 7th, to take on Joe Thornton and the San Jose Sharks. It's a twice-daily Super Tuesday. Fans can get 2 tickets in the lower bowl for $105 and 2 in the upper bowl for $55, plus a $5 twice-daily voucher. Visit the Bridgestone Arena box office or call 615-770-7800 to purchase today.
Off the face-off, Weber got there just before Skinner could. 30 seconds remain in the first period. Puck turned over at center ice. Deflected in by Semin. Onto the wall for Nick Spaulding. Spaulding just feathers one back toward the Carolina line. Taken away from there by Sekera. Behind the Nashville net. Stopped by Hutton. 10 seconds remaining in the period. Spaulding turns, heads up ice. Off the boards it comes. And time running down here in the period. We want you to stay tuned for our first intermission. We'll have some player reaction from the locker room. Examine the Predators' prospects at the World Junior Tournament, which concluded today in Malmo, Sweden. And we'll have our first period highlights and stats for you as well. All that coming up in just a few moments here as we bring you Predators hockey from PNC Arena in Raleigh. Shots on goal after 1. The Predators with 11 and the Hurricanes with 9. Canes lead it 1-0.
Had it, but the save was made.
And the stats after 20. So the shots on goal favoring Nashville. The scoring chances just as close essentially. What a battle in the face-off dots tonight.
9 and 8. Yes. Block shots. Nashville blocked 8 shots out there. That means the Carolinas pulling the trigger on a few of them also.
We are underway with the second period now from Raleigh. As the Hurricanes, it was tipped away from Dvorak. He gets it back, spins, broken up in front by Josi. And Craig Smith, working with David Legwand, gets it out. In ahead of Spaulding. Sekera, who along many of the heavy minutes on defense for Carolina. This is Bowman. Curling as they get a change, the Hurricanes. Smith tapped away from him by Belmore, but there to back up Ryan Ellis. Gerby is in front. Ellis can eat peanuts off Gerby's head. Let's see, he comes out from behind.
Yeah.
Up the boards and taken away by Colin Wilson. Down the left wing side now, Hornqvist. Hornqvist put it right to the side of the net. Hudobin, taking no chances, is out to cover up.
So now, Pete, Nashville's chore is to find a way to get more shots on Hudobin. Yes, good goaltender. Yes, he's got a .400 record, but he will leave rebounds. So the first part of the equation, get the shots on net. The rebounds will be there. The second part of that, arrive.
And there is a try of that as Patrick Hornqvist was listening to you, Terry, and giving the puck over for Mike Fisher.
Just wheel, throw it, traffic to the net. Think what happened. That's how Carolina got their goal.
And, of course, the shots off the angle against him are going to produce the rebounds on the opposite side for the most part.
Yes. Especially if it's in his feet. Throw the puck into his feet on bad angles. Everybody tells you that.
Seth Jones trying to do just that, but the shot just nicely absorbed by the goaltender Hudobin.
And Hudobin square on that one, Pete. So Kirk Muller not liking what he sees on his unit that he has out there. He's switching his unit. Says, okay, get the one good chance, get him off. Next unit out.
Kirk Muller looking on from that Carolina bench. Belmore takes that face-off behind the Carolina net, and Toulouse, a rather dangerous pass attempted there, but they get the puck up now to Grayson Bowman. Bowman flips it behind the net, comes out trying to take a perspective pass. Belmore all the way down to the side, up on the board, Ekholm, and chipped out by Hornqvist. And that one tipped over the Hurricane bench out of play.
And the Hurricanes are aggressive, Pete, on their forecheck, on their pinching, coming down off the boards, making things happen. And the reason for that is speed. They have speed to recover. If they get trapped one man or two, they're coming back. And Coach Trotz alluded to the fact that, and we showed you the one rebound when Spaulding took that shot. All 5 red jerseys backtracking hard. Does it remind you of a Hitchcock team?
Very much it does. And you were talking also, as you showed in a little breakdown, how they build a wall after the rebound given up by their goaltender. There's a quick shot, and that one is gloved as Murphy got the shot, and we go to our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
And Patrick Hornqvist last night, 9 hits, 4 shots, 1 assist, 60 minutes time on ice. Probably should add about 7 face watches if you'd so like it.
Yeah.
The way he works and works out there. I think, Pete, he was one hit off the record set by Shea Weber.
Yes.
Weber had 10 one
last April.
One of his mean moves.
Up the boards it comes. Rostad for Nystrom. Rostad tries to fight through the back checker. And now down the left side, Josi. It's behind the Carolina net. Tap back for Skinner, and Skinner clears it to the Nashville line. Josi is there. Sent in. Stahlberg and Hudobin, with the net being crashed by Nystrom, covers up.
So right now, the Hudobin, we said he was giving up rebounds, Pete. He must have been listening. We must be bugged up here because everything's come near his net now. He just simply picked it up. No chance for rebounds, loose pucks. He's just squeezing it and counting on his men winning the faceoff.
They align themselves for the faceoff to the right of their goaltender. Digging in, and the Predators manage to play it down the sidewall. Knocked down by Matt Hendricks. Hendricks slips it over. Kevin Klein following up. Cullen in the corner. Flip back out in front. Now the Canes started back up ice. Palashai's pass was blocked back inside the Carolina zone.
You alluded to the fact a little while ago from the Hurricanes making that little pass out in front of their own net, Pete.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to do it like the Russians. like you hold your breath. Well,
Yes.
why not? The guy's wide open. He's an outlet for you, and the Hurricanes have used that 3 or 4 times in the defensive zone tonight. The guy's standing in front of the net. He's all alone, nowhere near him. You're in a bind. Throw it to him. Give it to him. He's wide open.
I think that's probably resulted in the sale of more heart medication to coaches, though, than maybe anything else.
Maalox. Get me a case of Maalox.
If you possibly can. Yes, thank you. Sutter kicked out of the face-off. Predators got it away from Belushi, and now it's tipped just inside the line by Smith, who overskates. Down the left wing side now. Canes have a man driving to the net, but Hutton makes the glove save cleanly.
There's some great shows coming to Bridgestone Arena very soon, including Jeff Dunham, Keith Urban, and Kings of Leon. Limited tickets still remain. Get yours at BridgestoneArena.com or call 615-770-7800.
Faceoff will be to the right of Carter Hutton. And the puck held and thrown back left point. That shot just trickled wide, taken by Sekera. To the corner. Referee tries to get out of the way. Rough ride there for Lego. And the puck thrown right in front, right around Ekholm, and taken out of the air then by Seth Jones. Close call there for Nashville. Falk tried to take it inside, then it rolled away from Jones. Up the boards, and now taken out by Hornqvist. Hornqvist with Jones driving to the net. Rebound left there. Fisher a try, missed to the short side. Coming out for Colin Wilson. Hornqvist. Tipping. Wilson tried to find Mike Fisher. Tapped away from Sekera. Fisher for Wilson. His shot was blocked as he cut toward the net. 4 minutes off the clock plus here in the second period. Hornqvist turns with the puck. Blue line, wrist shot, and Hudobin has it. Doesn't give up a rebound there for Colin Wilson right in front.
So Hudobin again, P, I'm telling you, he's perfectly square with the puck now, squeezing everything in sight. We shouldn't have mentioned rebound. So Mike Fisher, what's he been? Well, look at this, 9 points in his last 4 games, 4 goals, 5 assists. He was the one sniffing around for rebound, by the way, in that last shot on net. And he's averaging 19 minutes, 35 blocked shots. Got himself 11 goals. He has been hot as of late.
Rostad goes to try to take that faceoff right-handed. Canes get it. And again, swept back into the Nashville end for Shea Weber to get there ahead of Semin, who has the goal in this game. 4:28 in. Rostad with Semin. Rostad from his knees tries to play it up the sidewall. Oh, a 4-way collision involving 3 Predators. There's Belmore, and it's deflected right back in front, and the Predators are able to get it out to center. Now there, was that like trying to pick up the 7-10 split? That combination hit back of the Nashville zone?
Nothing but bodies flying on that one, Pete. Wow.
Carter Hutton almost had it taken away by Ruutu. Held in at the left at the point and banked off the wall for Josi. Sent out of there by Nystrom. Icing was waved off. Initially, that was the signal that they were going to go with the icing call. Here's Dvorak fighting down the right side against Hendricks. Ellis rolls it over to his right side. Dvorak, backhander in front, deflects off the paddle down of goaltender Carter Hutton. Here comes Matt Cullen for Nashville, the former Hurricane. Bourque with a try, deflects away wide in front of the Carolina net. Lobbed up for Dvorak. Dvorak gives it off on the right side. Coming on now, Murphy, driving wide, tried to center, hit off the back of the cage. Bowman on it for the Hurricanes. Bowman carries out. Sekera at the right side. From behind the net now, Belushi gives it back to the blue line. Here's Falk. Wrist shot was blocked. Nicely played there by the stick of Bourque, but the Canes get it in deep. Shot by Sutter, deflects over opposite side. Hutton is able to cover that one up, and now a shot deflected off to the boards, well off to the right of Hutton. Brett Sutter in the corner. Scored his first goal in a Carolina uniform last night on Long Island. Put onto the wall where Falk is able to stop it. Sutter in the corner, pulled away from him. Sustained attack in the Nashville end. Spinning down the right side, Sekera. Sekera on his backhand. Turns to his forehand. The shot stopped and the rebound chopped to the corner. Sekera bluffs on the shot. Stick is broken. But the Canes continue their dogged persistence. And finally, Bourque is able to clear it out of the zone.
Now that's a forechecking shift by the Hurricanes. I'll tell you, Pete, they just had unrelenting pressure. Jumping for loose pucks, taking the body. They were everywhere, the red jerseys.
Jordan Staal threw it out in front. Hurricanes have to tag up. They do. Now they're back on side as Legwand lobs the puck through center. Going after Craig Smith. Smith versus Belmore. Smith getting some accompaniment there from Nick Spaulding down lower on the boards. Legwand picks up the puck. Now Spaulding. Fanning as he came toward the net. Picked off Legwand. Coming down the left wing side, Josi. Roman Josi away from Belmore. Fanning trying to get it past Smith. Here's Josi now. Cutting in front. Josi shot. Hudobin was looking behind him. And then the whistle goes. And now a pile up against the end wall. 7:40 has been played in the second period. The Hurricanes continue to lead it 1-0 here in Raleigh. Back with more action from PNC Arena in just a moment.
Just before this timeout with Pete, they had a good flurry by the Nashville Predators down around the net with Hudobin getting lots of company. The shot initially by Josi, and then David Legwand comes roaring through. And of course, when you come roaring through and poke at the goaltender, you know you're going to draw a crowd.
And he drew a big one, and it was mostly on top of him. So Hudobin initially, Terry, remember how he responded to the first shot? He was looking behind him.
Yes, he wasn't sure. That's maybe why David Legwand might have spotted the puck loose in behind him.
Bowman flips it up. Weber stops at the Nashville blue line. Canes tag up and flip it back in. Weber from Carter Hutton. Weber spun around by Bowman. Now Roman Josi skates up ice with it. Tip to the right side. Taken in. Weber. There trying to get around Sekera. Spaulding as the Predators changing up the D. And it is Ellis over for Kevin Klein. Taken in by Spaulding. Bounced off his stick. Tapped away. Give it up for Dvorak. And deflected in deeply by Bowman. Canes go for the change with 8 minutes, 29 seconds gone in the second. Nice bounce for Colin Wilson as it turns out. Here's Fisher. Off now to Hornqvist, and his shot came off the heel of the stick. Josi back on again already, and that shot broken up in front off the skates at mid of Colin Wilson. And Jeff Skinner on the puck for Carolina. I know I haven't said that many times tonight.
Yeah.
Semin in trying to stick handle. Almost caused an offside. Josi comes up, loses the puck to Skinner. Skinner tried to feed it back to Ruutu, and instead down ice it goes for Patrick Hornqvist. Fisher driving to the net too. The shot missing the Carolina goal, and it's sent back in by Semin.
You have to know, Pete, wherever the puck is going, it's coming towards you. A red jersey is not far behind it.
Yeah.
Because they are on the fly.
Offside with 9:21 played here in period number 2. Let's take a look at Patrick Hornqvist yet again.
So a puck going through that neutral zone. Hornqvist using his speed, picks up, gets ahead of everybody, comes down off that right side, has nowhere to go with it, so very wisely puts it towards the net. That's to see if he can create anything at all.
Ostad on the faceoff. Taken back away and then to the line, but not out. This time it is out and tapped back for Ellis. Ellis curls up the right side. Getting away from Boychuk, and a bouncing puck taken by Stallberg. Delays, looking for the man coming in late, and then tapped away from Ellis. Backed up by Nystrom, and then thrown into the zone by Ron Hainsey.
Sloppy play right now by both teams.
Yeah.
Giving the puck away, get it, lose it, give it back.
And a shoot in that should be routine, but Khudobin turns it into anything but. Has to fall on top of it.
Hey, we believe lightning can strike twice. We believe in family traditions. We believe only one place can turn superstars into legends. Tickets are on sale now at Daytona500.com. Legends are made. You been to Daytona 500 ever?
I have not been able to because of my other jobs over the years.
That's right. You've never made it. I thought you might even call it a race there, Pete. You called every other sport.
Puck tipped behind the net.
Would you like to call NASCAR race?
I think I would be horrible at it. I'd like the challenge.
You wouldn't be horrible.
Here's Gerby, and the shot missing the net. Coming out. I know I would be better than I was when I tried horse racing.
Okay.
How about having a 10 or 11 race card? You got to memorize a new team or new teams for every race. Tipped out toward Matt Cullen. Tapped there, knocked down. Here's Hornqvist continuing the battle. Picked up now by Hendricks. Hendricks off the right board. His shot deflected wide.
Well, I tell you, anything you're going against this Carolina team, you're going to earn it, Pete, because they do not let you in there very easily. Even angle shots, they set up the wall on your attack. They're coming back hard and fast together.
Yeah.
But we mentioned they're a speed team, and with the speed they have, you can do the things that they're doing. You can do that.
Because they have the ability with that speed to recover.
And the other night, we also saw a speed team in Florida, Pete. They had a lot of speed in their little youthful club, too. So trying to get through, couldn't make it. Why? Because the red wall was set up again.
Taking the puck outside, Bowman shot, and Hutton was able to line up with that. Now Ekholm, little struggle to the side of the net with Manny Malhotra. 9:04 remains in period number 2. Predators trailing Carolina 1-0.
Memory lane, flashback. Jeff Skinner, December the 5th at Nashville. 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals. Do you know what that means? He had a hat trick, and that's his first career NHL hat trick. Came at the expense of the Nashville Predators.
But once you do it once, you can do it more easily a second time, which he has done just a little while ago against the Washington Capitals. Up the boards through center.
I think before his career is done, Pete, he'll add a few more to it.
Yeah, I think that's very safe to say. Semin gave the puck up. Holding on now is Skinner. His pass was tipped by Smith, but they get the puck inside the Nashville line. Spaulding goes back to Captain Shea Weber. Smith turning it from Josi. There's Legwand down the left side. Shot, rebound left in front. Smith goes after it. Whistle goes as Khudobin piles on top of it, and then he gets piled upon himself.
Now that's what I'm looking for, Pete, from the Nashville Predators. Traffic, speed, shot on net, and drive to the net. And that's exactly what they had. Coming in through and then driving right on through. And I'm thinking it was Spaulding.
Yeah.
So Spaulding, and the rebound was there. He dropped it. Spaulding was driving towards it. He met up with a lot of red jerseys. But the right idea.
And Spaulding not feeling all that well, it appears.
But because about 3 red jerseys fell on him.
Exactly.
A couple of them big boys.
Who knows what else? Veteran defenseman Ron Hainsey was signed late in the summertime. Hurricanes on the attack. Flipped it over wide of Bowman. His shot missing the net. Angled out toward the D. Pulled away. Seth Jones. And now put up the wall by Ekholm. Ekholm takes it off the glass. Seth Jones goes up the left wing. Deflected in by Colin Wilson. Wilson down the left wing side. Winds it over. Kevin Klein comes down from his defense position. Klein in the corner for Wilson back in the net, who turned into Sekera as it developed, and now it comes up toward the blue line, where it's flipped low again by Patrick Hornqvist. Hurricanes come up ice fault. Forced back by Gostad, but then finds Dvorak. Into the corner it goes. Ellis left side for Nashville. Dystrom's pass did not get through. That was broken up by Dwyer. Bounces away from the Predators coming in on the left wing side now. Nystrom up to the wall in the line and thrown behind the net by Gaustad. Stahlberg in that corner. Stahlberg with Lyles. Here's Ekholm. Ekholm's a shot and knocked down in front and take it away. Murphy put it up the board for Dwyer and it goes out to center ice. Stahlberg angling to his right side. A shot on net, rebound swept away from the blue ice.
Another good shot by Stahlberg, Pete, and Gaustad sniffing for the rebound on that one. And that's the idea, Pete. Now they're getting better at Nashville. Getting shots through on net, traffic to the net, and the rebounds are starting to be there again.
Knocked down right outside the line, Legwand. Here is Smith. He gets a shot that deflected up into the netting. As the clock is stopped with 6:29 remaining in the period.
Pete, one thing I want to show is, take a look at this right here. Look at here. All 5 red jerseys are down behind. Look at your Maytag men, wide open. Why wouldn't you take the puck low, throw it back to your defense immediately, and jam the net? Look at this. 5 men, not even looking, not one guy. Look at your wide open defenseman. I mean, you've got 2 guys out there wide open like Maytag.
Well, Terry, you have your jammers lined up. It's like the Bay Area Bombers.
No kidding. Use them. They're there. We give Carolina credit for back checking. They come all the way back deep. Well, then take it to your advantage. Yeah. Use it to your advantage.
Belushi to center. Took it away. Steps in. His shot. Predator got a stick on it, and it deflects behind the net. Coming out of that corner, the right side. Back for Belushi. Belushi, you may recall from his time against the Predators with Colorado. Down the right wing, trying to center. Broken up in front. Held in by Hainsey. Belushi centers it into the blue ice. Pulled under control by Carter Hutton. 14:07 gone. Period number 2. Predators trail Carolina 1-0 in Raleigh.
And the one thing we talked about, Nashville have to get more shots on net. Rebounds will be there and arrive. Last go-round, Stahlberg comes down the right side, throws it off Murphy. Gaustad right there pounding away at it, looking for it. Why? Because the loose puck was there. Rebound available. Now, like we said, you have to pay a price to get there, but a goal is worth the price.
And we certainly saw Nick Spaulding pay that price.
Yes, he did.
Pulled back to the end board. It's Josi. Alan Wilson's pass. Tipped. Hornquist tried to chop it deep into the zone. Shea Weber now on it for Josi. Intercepted at center. Taken in by Falk. He throws it on. And that took a interesting little bounce there. It did. Twisting Karam. It's covered up by Hutton.
Hey, save the date. The Predators Foundation Nash Vegas Casino Gala and Auction, presented by King Jewelers and Maserati Bentley Rolls-Royce of Nashville. The event takes place on Tuesday, February the 4th. Fans can mix and mingle at the casino tables with Preds players, coaches, and personalities. Plus, enjoy food and drinks from local Nashville restaurants. Visit NashvillePredators.com/gala to get tickets.
Sliding back into the Carolina zone. Picked off Gaustad. Right in front. And Nystrom couldn't put it away. On the left wing side, it is Stahlberg for Ekholm. Ekholm moving, looking for some room. Puck comes over right side. Seth Jones puts it down low. Gaustad turns to his forehand. Stick stave is made there by Hudobin. Jordan Stahl forced it into the zone. Predators break it up. Held in right side and thrown down low by Murphy. And that trapezoid, Gerby. Nathan Gerby, his pass goes behind Malhotra, back into the Carolina end of the rink. Ryan Murphy, forced back by Bourque. Right wing side for Dvorak. Taken in now by Malhotra. Rebound came over to Bowman. Dvorak in the corner. Ellis pulls the puck out of that scrum. Onto the right wall, Bourque. He throws it to an open area on the left wing. Cullen catches up to it. It was tipped by Belmore. Hainsey back of the net. Takes a hit there, and on the left wing side, flipped low again. Too far for Hendricks. And Legwand threw it back to an open point as the Predators have to get back on side. Hainsey for Carolina. Legwand on him. Forces a turnover. Legwand kicks the puck over onto a stick. To the corner. Smalling. From behind the net. Backhanded away from Bellemore for Hainsey. And a hard deflection off the board into the Nashville zone. Weber's pass. Missing Legwand. That'll be an icing call. 3:32 left in the second.
In the last shift up there, Nystrom and Gaustad really connected well. Gaustad spotted Nystrom walking the net all alone, picks the puck up, throws it quickly through, and Nystrom had a semi-breakaway. So a nice heads-up give and go. The puck was just bobbling enough that Nystrom couldn't get control of it or make it settle down. But a nice heads-up play between Gaustad and Nystrom, Pete, for that scoring chance on their last shift out there.
The battle low, trying to come in on the short side, and that shot was cut off as it hit the post. Boychuk, who played a little bit for the Predators last year before being claimed on waivers through a bunch of games. Going over, trying to play that puck off the left board. Came out around Sutter. Tapped up off the shoulder and is trying to break out with it. Predators thought they had that, and now here is Sutter out of the corner. Brett Sutter behind the net, shoveled over right side. Craig Smith for Shea Weber. And off the boards, that goes back. There'll be no icing called here as the Hurricanes get it in their end. Up the middle with it, but tapped away Josi. On the right wing side, it's Fisher. Driving the net, Colin Wilson. And the shot came off the stick side of goaltender Anton Khudobin. Slipped over and put up towards Semin. Oh, deflected up in the face of Jeff Skinner. He is down. Play continues. Shot is taken there by Hornqvist and stopped in front. Skinner slowly going off to the Hurricane bench. Fisher working against Bellemore, who backhands it up, and it is taken out by Jordan Staal. Down the wall into the Nashville zone. So Skinner headed back down the runway. Here's a shot by Semin, and that deflects up into the netting with 1:58 to go in the period.
As you mentioned, Pete, Skinner took a puck in the face, I believe, in the neutral zone. It deflected right up and caught him right somewheres up in the face. He went down immediately, and then just when he got up, he headed right straight to the bench and then went straight from the bench, straight down the runway to the dressing room. So let's hope that Jeff Skinner is all right. They don't like to see anybody.
No.
Tall. Scary stuff.
Jordan Staal, Paul Gaustad. Gaustad pulls the draw back. Canes get it. Murphy is shot. The miss is short side. Swept back out in front, but comes out for Eric Nystrom. Nystrom clears the zone. Tipped back into Predators territory. Jones got there before Carter Hutton had to play it. From the left wing. Nystrom tried to force it in around Murphy. Given back now for Seth Jones. Guns one in off the end board. Stahlberg had hustled over after it. Up the left wing side now. 80 seconds remain in the second. Taking it now. Jordan Staal. Tried to get it off to the side. Cut into the net. Nathan Gerby. Across the line. Stahlberg shot deflected. Follows up. And wasn't able to get it past goaltender Khudobin. And then a follow-up is deflected wide to Hudobin's right. Under a minute to play in the second. Predators trying to keep the pressure on. Legwand down to the right corner with Hainsey. Tipped up, and Legwand keeps it. Thrown across, but it comes out across the line as Klein made the play. Wrapping it up the boards. It got just around Legwand to Dvorak. Hutton slows it down in the trapezoid. Pushes over to his left. Dvorak reversing positions. Legwand flips it up. Chopped down out to center ice. Good play there by Smalling. And tipped in deep from just outside the line. Canes with a change. Hard pass over for Ekholm. Ekholm lobs it out. And that one goes into the penalty timekeeper's bench. Let's take a look at this one. The striped shirts confer as to whether or not the Predators will get a penalty for delay of game, clearing the puck over the glass. And it looks like that indeed will be the case. For the first power play of the night,
Nashville, number 42, 2 minutes, delay of game.
the dreaded clear over the glass.
Ekholm trying to get it down ice, beat with the time running out on the clock to the end of the second period. Got a little too much mustard on it, just kept sailing up and over, so Ekholm delay of game.
So you know what that is, don't you, Terry?
That is his first penalty
Of his NHL career.
NHL career.
So a delay of game that counts as a penalty.
31 games. This is his 31st NHL game.
And time runs out in the period. So the power play, the vast majority, will carry over into the third period of play. We'll have the NHL scoreboard, highlights and stats, and a visit with assistant coach Phil Housley. All coming up for you here from Raleigh, North Carolina, where the Hurricanes on a goal by Alexander Semin, 4 minutes 28 seconds in, has them out in front, 1-0 over Nashville. Hurricanes in front 1-0 heading to the third. Terry, I do believe that you have a winner for us.
I certainly do in our watch and win winner thing. Congratulations to Andrew M. from Jackson, Tennessee. You are our watch and win winner. Presented by Hunt Brothers Pizza. You've won an alumni package. A Preds rep will contact you tomorrow. Don't forget to watch our game on January the 16th against the Philadelphia Flyers, where you'll have a chance to win a Seth Jones autographed jersey. So our winner on Watch and Win is Andrew M. from Jackson, Tennessee.
Now, weren't some of the Preds players downstairs before the game asking that you maybe bring back your red afro when the Predators are in Philadelphia to relive those thrilling days of yesteryear?
Yeah, and what partner of mine was prompting them, Pete, saying he'd buy me a red wig if I would wear it. Nice shot, partner.
But who was asking me to?
The players.
Rich Clune, Victor Bartley, those guys were all asking.
Well, then maybe they'll get a goal tonight just for doing that. They're good luck charm.
Okay. So in the penalty box, Mattias Ekholm.
His first ever penalty in the NHL. 30 game. Delay a game. Puck over the glass. I don't think I want to tell people that.
No. We'll say it was a high sticking. As the puck tipped in front of the Carolina net, Gaustad trying to sweep away at it. He's on with Matt Hendricks. Stick has been lost. Back there and now coming around. The shot by Hendricks, who dove it out of his net. And the Hurricanes gain control of it, allowing their goaltender to recover. What a turn of events that was there for the moment. Semin, and now down the middle, and poke checked away. Lagging behind just a little bit there, and there's going to be a hooking penalty here. A hooking penalty at 43 seconds of the period.
So the hooking penalty, Pete, going to the box.
26, minor penalty, hooking.
So John Michael Lyles, one of the newer members of the Hurricanes. So that short circuits the power play. Now let's watch the mass of humanity here.
They collide with each other. Picks up the puck. Hendricks gets a scoring chance. Gaustad collides with the goaltender, Hudobin, and it was just nothing but bodies flying everywhere on that last little session.
So we have 4-on-4 for perhaps a minute 6. Up behind the Carolina net, and Fisher going after it, backed up by Colin Wilson. So obviously you saw that Jeff Skinner was on the ice to start the period on the power play, so he obviously has recovered sufficiently from getting that puck up in the face. Down the right side, going down in the corner after the puck, passing in front, tipped out to the blue line and away. Mike Fisher bursting over after the puck as he was pursued there, coming back down by Sekera, and a good save by Sekera in that regard. Fisher turns, didn't get much on the shot. Shea Weber skates by the scene. It's Josi coming over left side. Skating 4-on-4 yet. Weber a quick shot, tipped up over the crossbar. Down the left wing. In 5 seconds, Predators will have a man advantage. And now out of the box comes Mattias Ekholm, and Nashville has the man advantage. Predators with their first chance of the power play tonight. The pass by Legwand tipped away. Jordan Staal toward the net. Soft shot, gloved down by Hutton, given right away as the return pass comes over for Josi. Josi with the shot, missing to the short side. Craig Smith gets it back, right half board to Weber. Josi with the shot. Khudobin well out of his net. And the whistle very quickly. And yes, some more pushing and shoving as the goaltender leaves his protected area.
And what you're looking for, Pete, puck to the net, traffic to the net, and of course you have to know number 27. Hornqvist is going to be in the middle. And then Fisher just before that comes down and works hard to get that semi-breakaway. Couldn't get control of the puck to get himself going. Good try. And right in behind that, good traffic to the net. So 2 good attempts by Nashville.
Predators now will go, as they've actually had a chance to stop things up here with overlapping penalties, creating a power play for Nashville. Cullen between Nystrom and Stahlberg, backed up by Weber and Josi. Out of that face-off circle, Cullen down on his knees. Dvorak had a shot at that and then cleared out by Malhotra. Josi goes back to pick up. And then Josi, the slight hesitation, creating some room. And the puck hammered in off the wall low. Behind Stahlberg it comes and flipped out to center ice. Lost by Malhotra. Power play time over for Nashville. The Canes back to skating with 5. And now Simmons' pass broken up by Ekholm. Khudobin stopped it behind the Carolina net. 1-0 Hurricanes. The goal early in the game. Here's the pass blocked at center. Hornqvist comes on. Hornqvist with the try, lunging across to make the glove stop is Khudobin as Hornqvist got a ride toward the crossbar.
No matter where he goes, he draws traffic. He draws attention. Whether he's in the middle of the ice, at the blue line, in a corner in front of the net, you have to say he's a popular dude out there. But a nice steal in the neutral zone by Patrick Hornqvist. Gets surrounded by red jerseys. Doesn't bother him. He's driving to net knowing full well he's inviting company to join him in the goal crease.
Khudobin looks to face off to his right. Fisher for Nashville. Malhotra for Carolina. Hornqvist flips it back. It got around Ekholm. Predators have to get back on side. Jabbed by Belmore into the Nashville zone. Spinning on edge. Hutton for Seth Jones. Ekholm up the boards. And it is flipped low again by Bowman. Ekholm to Jones. Tight quarters there. And that puck goes out of play, but deflected. And a little stoppage outside the line. There he had Sekera taking some exception to Patrick Hornqvist. But everyone takes exception to him, as we have pointed out time and time again.
He's just popular, that's all. So they're gonna concur and see, have a little meeting here to see if that puck hit anything on the way out. I can imagine that one. So Hornqvist and Sekera. Hey, what are you doing? I didn't do anything. Well, me neither. So I guess they tried to decide.
Here we go. Someone's going in.
Nashville penalty, 2 minutes minor, delay of game.
So they deemed that the puck didn't hit the glass or anything on the way out.
Predators are shorthanded again.
On that same dreaded call.
Seth Jones takes a seat. Power play number 2 for the Hurricanes. So Gerby, Jordan Staal, but the puck taken away by Josi. behind the Carolina net, staying away from Hendricks. And then passing down to the left wing side and pulling back with it stalled.
Hurricanes even across the board. Power play 24th, penalty killing 24th.
And they tried to set up Zach Boychuk cutting to the front of the net. Coach Kurt Muller is just trying anybody that he can right now, trying to get the power play going. Walking the line now is Falk. Straight away from center point, blocked. Trying to put it back on net, Sekera, and it's bounced off the wall into the Carolina zone. A minute 1 remaining on this power play. The penalty for delay of game against Nashville. A quick move up, but Ekholm got back there and clears it. Here is Murphy. Predators have Nick Spaulding with Cullen now. And Cullen comes out with it. Cullen flips in. Taken to the wall. There'll be a penalty here. Interference is the call. I'm not so sure I know about that.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one attack. Pete coming down, dumped the puck, and full head of steam. Had already gone into his hip shot.
Interference.
We will take the penalty, but I agree with you, Pete. It's sort of just a...
I don't think you should take those battles out of the game. So 35 seconds remaining on the original penalty on Seth Jones. So the Hurricanes did not get a shot on net during that power play. 4-on-4 now. And the Predators with Nystrom and Gaustad this time. Down the left side, Lyles is shot, and Hutton will hold it. Now Holzer was crashing the net after Lyles.
So both these cock-ups are just ebb and flow right now. Pete. Not a whole lot of attacks. The only one was the collision down in the Carolina end where the two Carolina players collided. And then Gaustad running into the goaltender. That's what most of the action we've had so far.
They win the draw, back for Hainsey. Dvorak loses, and now Nystrom's pass. In 10 seconds, Predators will have the man advantage. As that countdown clock goes, and Seth Jones now springs out of the box. Power play number 2 for Nashville. Hammered in by Ellis. Leg one goes down to follow. Hainsey put it to the left wing. Now it's banked by Fisher to Weber. His shot. That one missing the net. Rebound comes out left point. Leg one tries to sweep it down, but blocked out of there. Josi back to get it. Just ahead of Dwyer. Bungled up nicely by Hornqvist. His shot deflected away with Fisher cutting to the front of the net. Pulled away now by Hornqvist. To the point, Josi. Hornqvist goes in front now. Leg one on that right half board. Weber not in position to shoot there for Josi. To Weber. Weber his preferred shooting area, but they react well to that and come right up on it. 30 seconds
better beat with him.
Here's Weber, his shot. Oh, the rebound just trickled wide. Trying to throw it in front, and they bank it in. The Predators tied up on the power play at 6:46 of the third.
Yeah, there's one of those goals, Pete. You'll take it because it was just sort of a shot going wide and then throwing it right back on net, and I almost think it hit number 27. Now, Fisher shot the puck. So it either hit Patrick Hornqvist, which I think it might have, on the side, or the red jersey was heading to it. So Weber takes the blast. The goaltender makes the save, and then Fisher just throws it out, and yep, Patrick Hornqvist deflects that puck.
And it's under review, and it may have actually been put in by Hainsey. Let's watch this as Hornqvist with a second try gets it back out front. And then, is it Hainsey kicking it back in?
It could be Hainsey that kicks to the... you're right, Pete.
Yeah,
It could be Ron Hainsey kicking that puck in. So I'm not sure there's any doubt it's not over the line unless they're trying to figure out who put it in.
So, yeah, Hainsey effectively kicked in Hornqvist's skate. So Don Van Massenhoven is on the phone as this one is under review. They, of course, have video review judge here and at the Situation Room in Toronto.
Now, I don't think they can be looking for a distinct kicking motion.
No.
That can't be part of it. I wish they would tell us what they were looking for. I don't think they will. They'll just point to
We might get the email in a little bit, but in any case, here's the announcement.
On video review, we do have a good goal on the ice to call on the ice stands. Goal.
All right. There you go. So it's a tie game. Let's take a look at it yet again.
So there's Hornqvist in the crease where he always is. And then
I'd have to definitely say that was Hainsey. So Hornqvist gets his 9th. That'll be from Fisher and Weber at 6:46. Nystrom sends the puck out of the Nashville zone. To center, bounced off Nystrom. He stays it away from Gerby, and now Seth Jones to Shea Weber. A power play goal for Nashville to tie the game. Gostad carries in. They carry him back. Picked up now as the Canes take it down the right wing side. Gerby trying to turn the corner. Seth Jones takes it away. Gerby is down. He is shaken up. Play continues in the Nashville zone. Gerby is having trouble, and he slowly, laboriously skates over to the Carolina bench. 1-1 the score. 12:20 remaining in the period. Gerby was going hard to the net, and he got taken out. Legwand down the right side. Came through for Spaulding. His shot missing stick side. Ellis backhands it. It's taken back out. Dvorak handling the puck for Carolina and flips it in. Put up on the wall, taken away. They try to come out in front as Hutton had peeled away from that left post. To the point, Lyles with the shot as the Canes attempt to jam the net, and Hutton holds on. 8:12 gone. We're in the third period. Predators have come back to tie it up on a power play goal by Patrick Hornqvist. It's 1-1.
time for a Bridgestone Performance Moments brought to you by Weber, Fisher, and ending up with Hornqvist getting a power play goal. So Weber the shot, Fisher the tip towards the net, and Hornqvist the pest puts it in the net with some help from the defenseman. So there you have your Bridgestone Performance Moments brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
Skinner tried to pull the faceoff straight back, but it was taken away by Craig Smith. Rolls it in toward the net. Belmore is there. Legwand right behind him. Smith comes over into the scrum as well. The puck behind Legwand. Belmore puts it up on the wall. Semin was blocked, and then it is tipped out to center ice. Weber deflected in wide of the goaltender. Belmore on the wall. Legwand tried to feed out to the point. Drilled back in by Weber as the Predators get a change. And then turning at the line before he goes off, Legwand to dump it in. Fisher, the man in deep. Backed up by Colin Wilson. Bunting that one ahead was Gerby, so Gerby is recovered. And tipped in off Jordan Stahl to the left side of Hutton. Ekholm for Seth Jones, blocked by Gerby. Hit off the side of the Nashville goal. Onto the boards, Colin Wilson trying to get his stick on it and clear it. And with help from Patrick Hornqvist, does just that. Hurricanes coming through center. Gerby down the left wing. Could not get it around Seth Jones. Several tries. Now finally dumps it in deeply, and the Hurricanes go off for a change. Predators out shooting Carolina 28-22. It's a 1-1 game. Hurricanes early in the game at 4:28. Alex 7, his 6th, and Patrick Hornqvist here in the 3rd on the power play, and that turns out to be his 9th at 6:46. Down toward the corner. Stallberg and Falk. Stallberg, as the puck is kicked away from him. Sent behind the Carolina goal. Hudobin, the goaltender, beaten just once here tonight. And it took a lot of effort for the Predators to do that. Down the wall, now taken out. Here's Sekera. Right side with it. And to flip it behind the Predators' D. And there's a shot taken from the right board that Hutton is able to absorb. 10:22 got off the clock here in the third period. Predators and the Hurricanes, they are tied up at a goal each.
Captain Shea Weber, and why are we looking at him? Because he just got his 200th career assist in the franchise history. That puts him right behind Leguan Irat Jimenez. So Captain Weber climbing the ladder.
And Mike Fisher, his last 5 games, as he also assisted on that score with 10 points.
And he has been on a tear also.
9:38 remains in the third period. As they jump, Semin jumped into the circle before Skinner had a chance on that drop against Gaustad. Comes back out for Bellemore. Just tries to lob one toward the net, deflected out. Craig Smith now gets after it. Smith turns to his forehand. Out of the corner. Leguan for Weber. Weber on the angle, deflected away, never got through to Hudobin. Smith on the boards. Leguan wanted to pass it to Weber, but it was deflected out by Jeff Skinner. Predators clear. Now Fisher is on for Nashville and caught out there on the right wing with the long change, Craig Smith. And as it's dumped in the Nashville zone, Smith will go off. Seth Jones lobbing to center, tipped ahead by Hornqvist. Sekera onto the right wing side. Spinning there, Dwyer. Gerby goes after it on the end board. Tried to center for Stahl. Comes back for Sekera, but he couldn't hold it in the zone. Now down and cutting over to his right was Dwyer. Jordan Stahl. Gerby fired it across, wide in front of the net, picked off by Sekera. Turning left wing side, Jordan Stahl. His brother, the captain of this team, injured in last night's game at Long Island, and they say he might be out for at least a week or so. An unspecified, to this point, injury.
I'm watching big Jordan Stahl from the peak. I'm sort of reminiscing now, not to compare to anybody, but he reminds you a lot of the Big M. Frank Mahovlich, yes. That big, long, swooping stride of his. He looks like he's not going fast, but he's covering a lot of territory in a short amount of time.
That he is.
Like Mahovlich used. Remember you thought he wasn't moving?
Right.
Try catching him?
We'll have to see if he then becomes a Senator from Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
Kick left side. Trying to get a shot, but it rolled over. Bowman takes it out for Carolina. Feeds it in low. Ellis feeling that traffic converge upon him. Tipped inside by Lyles. Stallberg and Dvorak. Stallberg falls down, and the puck put up on the left wing side. Nystrom sweeps a nice pass across for Stallberg. Stallberg down the right wing. Spins in that corner. Kevin Klein went to the front of the net. Now peels back to the blue line. Trying to get possession of the puck again in the Carolina zone, but the Canes take it out. From down the left wing. Whipped in by Boychuk. Onto the wall. Bounced away from Bellemore. Leguan's jumping out after it, but Bellemore was able to recover. Predators almost had an odd-man rush there. Leguan tips it behind the net. It was up on the shelf a bit. Bellemore's pass off the skate. Headman for Semin, then dropped back for Skinner. Skinner's shot blocked off Shea Weber. Puck chipped into the Carolina end. They're going to call icing here with 6:27 remaining in the third period of the game, even at 1. Here's what's coming up for the Predators. They fly back home after this game. They'll be hosting the San Jose Sharks Tuesday night. Sharks taking on the Hawks tonight in Chicago. Tickets available for that and all the Predators home games, 5 in a row coming up at home at NashvillePredators.com. And Thursday, they'll see the Anaheim Ducks for the first time this season. a club in the same conference. Stahl on the faceoff, right side of Carter Hutton. Taken out of the circle by Weber. Here from the left wing side comes Spaulding. Trying to chop that one down, Craig Smith. Predators, after the icing call, change up two of their forwards. Jordan Stahl in behind Shea Weber and leaving up on the sidewall, Colin Wilson. Here is Mike Fisher. Now Seth Jones trying to cut in with the puck, stopped by Jordan Stahl. Fisher behind the net, tapped away from him. So it's Craig Smith with a shot, creating a stick save by Hudobin.
Craig Smith back to his old form, Pete. The minute he gets that puck, whether it's in a bad angle or not, he takes his shot, and normally it's on net. He's got a good snapshot. Speed, snapshot, and he's right on target.
Just missed in the shootout last night, hitting the post break. As Hudobin gave up a bobbling puck in front. Canes get it back to center. Off the shin of Ellis, who backhands it in the Carolina zone. 5:17 left third period. A 1-1 score. Cullen giving it back to the D, and a return tipped down by Cullen. Sekera backhands, put up the wall, and tipped where Cullen can get it. Cullen turning it. Stahlberg's shot. That one was blocked off Sekera. Now Klein with the try, blocked down as well. Tipped away from Cullen as Stahlberg also was going after it.
That puck had to be blocked about 4 times, Pete. Every time it bounced away from where the Predator player was standing.
Yeah.
They were doing a good job of trying to get it towards net on net. It just kept hitting a body.
Ellis behind the net, twisted back to him by Eric Nystrom. 4.5 minutes remain in the third period, tied game. Ryan Ellis down the Predators' right side. Hainsey passes to center, jumping back on side with Brett Sutter. And off the glove of Hainsey into the Carolina zone. Belmore takes a whack at it and drills it past Yossi, who had just come off the bench.
I tell you, Yossi's lucky he did miss that.
Yes.
They would have got called for too many minutes. You can almost be guaranteed of that.
Tuomo Ruutu slowed down by Spaulding and then takes a tumble against the wall. Fans wanted a penalty there. Yossi trying to regain the control of his stick. Here is Lyles throwing it behind the forward, crossing toward the net. Ruutu and Yossi. The puck is put onto the left wing side off Legwand. Here's Skinner, a try, and that one deflected up over the crossbar. So now some sustained time for the Hurricanes in the Nashville zone. And there's a shot to score from the right circle. The Hurricanes retake the lead at 16:29.
And you just felt on that play, Pete, that they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. We said so often that nothing good can come of it. And it looks like it might be Skinner who's done the damage again on this one, Pete.
One of your keys there.
And he was the one to watch, and he just gets a shot off from the left, on the right side. And just persistent puck pursuance by them. And then Skinner just finally gets loose.
He hits the 20-goal mark with that one. 16:29, the time of the score. Dwyer puts it behind the net for Gerby. Gerby put it across in front. Jordan Stahl was waiting for it. Seth Jones got in the way. So the Predators down a goal again. Ruutu and Semin with the assists. So Ruutu and Semin have both figured in the 2 Carolina goals. Ruutu assisting on both. Semin scoring one. As we have a whistle here with 3:01 remaining. Predators trailing 2-1. Thanks to Jeff Skinner's 20th of the season, his 4th in 2 games against Nashville.
Jeff Skinner, most dangerous man on the ice. Where is he? Right here. Look at here, looking straight down. Nobody picks up on Skinner. He'll just simply travel over out of traffic, get the puck, and bingo. Look at this. Nobody spots him. Legwand at the last second looks over his shoulder, makes no attempt to get to him in time, and then Skinner just takes a shot from almost past the face-off dot And still haven't said that. That's not a good goal from that angle from there. But again, it's Skinner shooting it. So defensive zone awareness, Pete.
He finds a way, doesn't he? There's a shot by Nystrom, goes wide. Predators trying to tie it back up. Wailing away in the corner. Passed out front, and a good pass that results in a shot that has given up the rebound with Dobin. And Ståhlberg and Nystrom blow back after it.
And Pete, we talked about these type of goals with the coaching staff, and you know, you work hard. You work hard to get your goals because you don't have a lot of natural goal scorers. You have trouble offensively, and then you stay in the game, and then at this stage, you have a defensive breakdown. Everybody looking in backwards, and especially with Skinner out there, of all guys, nobody pays attention to him, and he gets that bad angle goal.
Yeah, he's the sort of guy that never, ever should be left alone. Not for any sustained period. To the Nashville zone. Tapped away from Josi. Legwand trying to get away from Gerby. Went up the middle and tipped wide. No icing. Craig Smith follows up, trying to get it out in front. There's a try by Ellis, blocked out to center. Down the left wing side now, Nathan Gerby with the move, and that shot was high, knocked down by Hutton. 1:52 remaining in the third. The Predators get some time down on the Carolina end. They can look for Carter Hutton to make a break for the bench. It worked for the Predators last night to get the tying goal in Florida. Lobbed through center. Little reverse English on that. Coming up, 90 seconds remaining. Carter Hutton edging closer and closer to the Predators bench. Now he heads on over. Extra attacker on with 1:24. Predator net is empty. Flipped out in front. Pinballed around off Hornqvist. And now taken by Sekera. Flips it up off the boards and back to the Nashville zone. 1 minute, 7 seconds remain. Tipped into the Hurricane bench by Hainsey. So Ellis had a chance coming in from the blue line.
Good forechecking on the chance, too. And Ellis, realizing the slot was open, walks right in and hammers one, Pete. Good shot, but again, Khudobin was right there, square to the puck. Big save by the man. So timeout called.
Yep, timeout for the Predators. 18:56 of the third. 20 seconds after they had pulled Carter Hutton for the extra attacker. So on both benches, Terry, what are they going over?
Probably right now, Trotzy's telling his guys, fellas, we pulled one last night. Let's get everything towards the net. Jump the loose pucks. Everybody's got to have their feet moving. No passengers. Nobody. If the loose puck, 2-3 men, the one thing we have to do is get the other one at the other side is Trotzy wants his guys to get control of it, however many bodies it takes. Kirk Muller telling his guys, fellas, when the face-off, everything goes wide. Everything around the boards, unless you're 99% positive.
Now, Hotra will be taking the face-off, Terry, and Jordan Staal is out there, too, in case he should get chased.
Also, he was telling him, nobody tried the long bomb open that one.
Yeah. Trying to pull the puck out of the circle. It is put out of play. Now, was that a deflection? We're going to have a meeting here among the striped shirts again. One of the Hurricanes players pleading deflection.
And they're calling
that's
it
the deflection. So no penalty on that. But now they're going to take the face-off outside the line.
So that must mean it must have hit a
pressure, yeah. So Hutton goes back in with 1 minute remaining. Face-off comes to Nashville. Hutton back to the bench. And with 56 seconds to go, extra attacker on for Nashville. Jordan Staal gets the puck, puts it out to the left wing side. As the puck comes up to center yet again, gunned in by Hornqvist. Under 40 seconds. Sekera around the boards. Knocked down. Quick shot. Wide of Hudobin. Rebound right point. Shea Weber came up in the face of Hornqvist. Bouncing puck back behind the net. Taken by Dwyer. Dwyer tries to clear. He was tied up. Puck now taken by Jordan Staal. He makes the simple play, feathers it off the boards.
That's the one he was told in their meeting, Pete. Do not try for the icing or the empty net. Just keep it going ahead. Keep it going towards their net.
Under 10 seconds. Down to the corner. 5 seconds. Predators try to dig it out. There's a try by Smith. Hit the outside of the net. And time runs out on the Nashville Predators here tonight. The Hurricanes prevail as they trade third period goals 2-1. Let's look again at that last flurry.
And just before the buzzer, Smith had the last crack at it, working with Wilson out of the corner. And I'm not sure if Hudobin got a piece of that puck or not, but that was the last chance they had. So the Predators tonight, Pete, fall to the Hurricanes 2-1.
So this